Alright, my homies. Fnatic with the 0-2 scoreline. Will they bounce back? They lost against Immortals. They got heavily outdrafted, I believe. Let's take a look at the drafting this time. In this game. Talia ban. Longzhu. Play a very crisp Talia. They know how to use it to the max. Tristana, first pick from Fnatic. Put that Reckless on a carry. Classic. Wait. Nasus. Is this the ultimate? Is this just the ultimate Fnatic taunt? He's just gonna beat him down with the dog champ. Holy moly. That is mental, man. That is crazy, dude. Alright. Let's start at the beginning. Tristana, first pick. Xayah, Kallista's out. Kog'Maw is also out. You could argue that Tristana is the best carry in the game. Some people have played Twitch into it and done fine. The response from Longzhu is Janna Varus. Very strong response here. Janna Varus is going to have push in bot lane. I don't think there's any support Fnatic can pick to change that. Fnatic have a very hard scaling bot lane here. They have an ultimate from Jessus that is very powerful and scales into the game. They also arguably get the best jungle out of the three, or jungle out of the remaining champions. Gragas is also fine. That difference is not a big deal. Later on in the draft, Longzhu ban Shen Nar. Interesting. While Fnatic ban Chase Trundle. So very evident that Fnatic is going to pick a tank champ up in top lane, and a lot of the counters or the good champs into them are banned. Maokai is blind picked, so they don't want to be put in that situation once again that Cho'Gath is just getting kited around. Fnatic maybe are just too afraid to play Cho'Gath after what happened the last time. So Syndra and Maokai locked in. I like the fact that they picked Syndra. The last time when they blind picked Ryze, he was too heavily countered by the fact that you know, Ryze is just too weak against a lot of the meta champions, right? He's too weak against a lot of the meta champions, and I feel like Syndra, while Ryze is very strong in mid lane, you know, as a mid lane is great. In the right meta, it's going to be the most OP champion in the game, you know. But in the current meta, when there's a lot of long range AD carries, then Ryze is not that great. Syndra is better against these AD carries. Orianna is better against the long range AD carries and Ardent Censer supports. LeBlanc is also very interesting when it comes to one-shotting Ardent Censer supports. But Ryze gets kited very easily, and if you just isolate mid lane, if this was a 1v1 mid lane tournament, I think Ryze would have been like a top tier pick. But in the current meta, I don't think it fits. Maokai blind instead of Cho'Gath blind, I think it's a better bet. Longzhu, they do pretty standard things. Janna Varus, they could have also went Janna Gragas to hide the Varus, but it doesn't matter too much. Like they could have went Janna Sejuani if they prefer the Sejuani over Gragas, but it seems like they don't give a damn, you know. And they go for the Gragas third. Janna and Varus are the champions that are picked. And then the next rotation comes in, they ban Shen and Nar. What I like about Galio is that it's kind of a flex pick. It can both go mid lane, it can also go top lane, right? So into a play like Soaz, you know, he's not going to pick anything blind pick that is going to be good into it. Like potentially you could blind pick Renekton here top and be fine. Like blind pick Renekton on Fnatic side would not be bad at all, right? What would be the counter to blind pick Renekton top? I don't think there's a lot open right now. That would be a counter. Maybe Rumble. Like Rumble would be good into it. But other than that, I don't think there's a lot of champions. And sure, you could blind pick Renekton, and that would be a good thing to do into Galio, and then they would have to put Galio mid, and that would be fine for Galio. But nevertheless, Fnatic, Soaz is not going to do that. He's going to just pick a tank and just play it out, right? So Galio can be put both top lane, almost in every case, and also in mid lane. In this case, Fnatic do in fact pick the Syndra. And you could argue that this is a case where picking Ryze is fine, because they did in fact flex Galio and he's going to always have a target to hit. But I just have have this feeling that Fnatic want to keep it simple. I feel like this composition that they have at their hands right now is very simple to play out, very easy to play out. It doesn't require that much executional skill. It has a lot of basic good win conditions, and I think I like this type of comp for Fnatic. Longzhu now, they have the Galio in mid lane. They're gonna put that in mid lane, and then Nasus is going to go top lane against Maokai. So Nasus as a champion, is fine against tanks. It's very good against tanks. It's a percentage damage and percentage damage on ultimate, and the Q stacks up, and you will scale into the split push game very well. But against these champions that Fnatic have, like Syndra and Tristana, he's never gonna reach a valuable target. So what Nasus is, he's a tank killer, but the problem for Longzhu here is who's going to reach the backline, like who's going to kill Syndra here, who's going to kill Tristana. It's very hard for Longzhu to kill these champions, and Longzhu will have to play a split push game. They'll have to be ahead early with the Janna Varus, and hopefully they will snowball that advantage into something greater than just that. Fnatic are going for some level 1 craziness. Holy shit, look at this Nasus skin. He looks like a World of Warcraft character. Holy moly. Alright, Khan gets told. Let's see now if Fnatic actually go in and put some deep wards here, because usually the response from the enemy team when they spot an invade like this is that they will just walk in, put some good deep wards, and Fnatic doesn't do that. I think it might be considered to be a mistake, because I think everyone in Fnatic could have taken the same path as SOAS, and they would have known exactly where the enemy would start. Brox's face checking with his passive is pretty OP, but Caps is taking a lot of damage here. Very big deal here. He burns flash, and on top of that he has to start the lane phase with eating a biscuit. And when you're on a diet, you don't want to start by eating a biscuit. The lane phase diet, you want to keep your potions and your biscuit for as long as possible, and he just had to burn potentially both right off the bat here. Interesting to see this transition in mid laners, that they're starting to use biscuit over extended buff duration, I think is what people use. I'm not too sure now. I can't picture the masteries in my head anymore. Like, I just have like this memory of Nuktak saying like, yeah, biscuit in mid is cheese. It's cheese. He's probably using Feast too, this cheeser. So we will see. Interesting that Longzhu are getting pushed here slightly, but I don't think it matters. Varus and Janna should be able to push this back, no problem. They are the ones with the relic shield though, so they have the weaker item in a trade situation, but they will have the ardent sensor slightly faster. Let's talk more about this Nasus and his role in the game. Sure, he can slow down the Tristana big time and maybe force her to buy a Quicksilver Sash. Longzhu will have like this split push menace. That's for sure. Like, they will have the split push going on for Nasus. Galio is also going to split push or try to get some priority on side lanes. I think wherever Maokai goes, like maybe in deep late game, he might have a hard time against Susan. But in general, I feel like Fnatic have the better draft. It's very easy to feel like it whenever Nasus is in the game, and it all depends on how many stacks Nasus can amount to and how hard he can shit on Maokai in the side lane. Varus and Janna, it also depends on how good they do in the early game, and Fnatic in the later stages of the game have a lot of tools to engage, a lot of tools to disengage as well, and Longzhu's engage and usage of Galio ultimate is not that optimal with the team composition. Sure, later on Prey and Gorilla and Cuz can't, they can go into mid lane and maintain like the tower, they can have some wave clear and they can disengage, but like the game plan from Longzhu will be to stall the Nash as much as possible. Don't put themselves in predicaments where they have to engage. Just play the split push game and hopefully Khan can take the entire enemy base. So that is where we stand right now. But looking at the game duration, you know, either Fnatic stomped them or Longzhu just stomped them. And you know, the game is, the video is 40 minutes in total. So I'm assuming that the case will be that Longzhu just smashed them somehow with some kills in bot lane. You know, Varus is gonna ult, and then Galio ult is gonna come in, and then there's like a triple kill, and Longzhu just start out the game with the first tower of the game. You know, and then all of a sudden they snowball, they keep it up, and all of a sudden they're 6k gold ahead. That is like my prediction for how this match was gonna go. You know, I try to not open Twitter and not open Reddit, you know, before I go on, but I feel like, you know, if Fnatic beat Longzhu, the world would explode. I would have like Fnatic fans outside my window. They would be outside my window screaming like, "Ah!" And then they would like call me on my home phone number, and they would be like, "Dude, you gotta review this game. Fnatic is insane." You know, that's what I would expect if that was the case. Broxah is now getting danced around here, so he sees Cuz place these wards around the mid lane. Let's take a step back. When he spots Cuz the first time here, his cousin, what up Cuz, what up blood, he sees that his jungle item doesn't have any wards. He has placed them, you know, and it's a big deal here. It's a big deal. He can safely assume that these wards have been placed, and he's spending a lot of time fapping around here. Interesting that this ward doesn't get spotted by the pink ward. So, great placement here, but Broxah is just walking back and forth, and he gets spotted by these wards. Longzhu are backing off, but I guess it's just the genius placement of this ward that makes it confusing here. I think Broxah wasn't seen by that ward specifically, but this ward is also helpful. Broxah is wasting a lot of time, and Cuz just went straight up to top side and is grabbing his camps right now. Broxah wasted a lot of time now, and Cuz is gonna be slightly ahead. Holy moly. The dog champ. I think it's so funny, man, that they're playing Nasus. Playing Nasus against freaking Soaz. This is like the meme of the century, man. This is so dank. Important thing for Fnatic is to try to maintain pressure around mid. The beauty of Galio is that even if you don't play through mid or play through Galio, he can always support fights, similar to Talia. But Galio as a champion is very strong in 2v2s because he's very hard to kill, especially against Sejuani and Syndra, right? He has a lot of magic, like anti-magic capabilities, right? And in 2v2 he can always ult Gragas if that's the case. And the goal now for Fnatic is to somehow make sure they have priority through mid, play into bot side river, and make sure that their team is not getting smashed by this Galio dive thing that can happen to them in bottom side. Prey doesn't have a lot of mana now, so the harassing is gonna stop. Reckless is keeping healthy with his Doran shield, still has his potion. 2 potions left as well on Jessus. Maybe the goal for Prey should be to try to harass Jessus instead of harassing Reckless, because he's been shooting his E at Reckless and it just doesn't matter because of Warlords and Doran shield. Cuz just replaces wards in the same placement. This ward is just, let's see if this ward gets spotted by the pink again. It would be very interesting. If Broxah just puts a pink in the same position and This ward just doesn't get spotted. It's quite hilarious, I think. Whoa, that was a whiff. It's also hard to land the ultimates on Rakan because you can just dash away into Reckless as well. Like if that was the case, like let's say Prey aimed at him, and he just eat Reckless, then it wouldn't have hit, and it would have been all fine. Longzhu's comp is really strange. Like they need to play a game where it's hard for them to commit, hard for them to use Gali ultimate. Like sure, maybe with Gragas bottom and through some priority through mids and then into bottom and maybe create something like that, but it all just seems so iffy, you know. I'm not convinced at all. Longzhu in the later stage of the game will play the split push game and hopefully they can accomplish something, but right now we got a stalemate. Fnatic's bot lane did get a better base. They're walking straight bottom now, and Longzhu are just gonna try to push this in time. And question is now if Janna can afford Ardent Sensor. She has 14 CS over the Rakan, so there is a chance, a slight chance here that Ardent Sensor can be bought completely. No. Is it close? Doesn't seem to be close. Otherwise he maybe would wait. I want to see his gold. I want to see his money. I'm disappointed that we don't get to see his money. Maybe maybe the play should have been straight up that they just give Longzhu, like maybe they just give Gorilla all the CS from that last wave. I just want to see the gold. I just really want to see the gold. Like legit, if they just gave Gorilla the CS here, would he just afford Ardent Sensor? If he just took the entire wave, would that be the case? And then Prey just wouldn't have boots and he would have Ardent Sensor instead. Could have been like a genius strategy here to just give all the CS to Gorilla and it would have been all good. But of course, I might be inaccurate because I don't know exactly how much gold he has. Like if he has exactly this amount of gold to buy these items, then maybe it wouldn't be the case. But considering he has 14 CS more than Rakan, then like 15 CS is about 300 gold. Ardent Sensor recipe is 550 or 600, I don't remember precisely. And you know, he might have gotten it. He is CSing under the third now though. Fnatic are doing a good job playing around mid lane here. They had the base priority from bottom, right? So they have pressure here on river, and Kaz is walking straight to bottom, it seems. A lot of vision here on the bottom side, so this is going to prevent any plays from happening into bottom, and I feel like that's where Longzhu had the potential to create something with the Varus ultimates and then into a Gragas body slam with some Gali ultimates coming down onto the enemies. Interesting build. We have Sunfire Cape coming up here for Maokai. Sunfire Cape first, or Bami's Cinder, or whatever this item is called. Ooh, that's a whiff. All the CC just misses here. Yeah, Caps also misses W, so he can't E. He doesn't have any balls that will hit Cuz in the face. That was kind of a strange situation. Let's just pretend Cuz flashed the Sejuani ultimate and it was all slick and cool. This was really wonky from everyone. I don't even know if Cuz had to flash. Maybe he could just E in some direction and it would have been all fine. Because they still had Gali ultimates, and in a worst case scenario, if that went to an all-in situation, then it would have been pretty good, to be honest. Let's see now if Caps is going to get Dove, because he's really low. Cuz has no flash. Caps has all summoners, but he's low HP. Khan is low mana, he only has that Sheen. Doesn't have refillable Like it doesn't have corrupting potion. The corrupting potion was like core on Nasus, or like Doran's ring, core on Nasus. I don't know if Doran's shield is like necessary. Doran's ring sounds pretty juicy to me if I was playing Nasus against Maokai. Caps going for the roam now. Very low mana now on Khan. I don't even know if he has enough for that ultimate. Oh, he doesn't have enough for that ultimate, so is tanking the turret. Khan has enough to survive this, I think. He's alright. He's alright. He can just life steal a bit here on the minions. Caps with the second combo of minions, so as. Whoa. Okay. So while this entire ordeal happened, the main reason Caps went into topside is that he's doomed under the turret. He's doomed under the turret. Brox has no mana. Longzhu, they won the trade-off here where Cuz flashed. Caps is getting heavily out-traded. Boom. Well, soon it's gonna come right there. Boom pow. Gets smacked by the Mr. T hit right there with the double-fisted. Boom. Sejuani was really low mana after what happened. He's doing like the golems really sparingly. Mid lane is completely lost of a priority, and they have to kind of what you call it? Sorry, I got distracted by my phone. I'm just gonna put this away. The main thing here is Longzhu are walking into bottom because they spot Broxa here. Cuz is trying to fight him in the jungle. He still has his ultimate. Broxa has nothing. Galio also got a heavy trade onto Caps, and the only option Caps has here is to try to make a play into topside. It's the only option he has because he can't contest bottom, and he's just trying to make up for the fact that his team is currently losing their bot tower. I just have to check one thing. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I need to just turn off my camera. Well, it seems like I forgot to order my food. I'm really hungry and I didn't press confirmation. The food was supposed to arrive. I ordered 50 minutes ago and I just forgot to press confirmation. That sucks. For anyone who wonders, I ordered a burger. Yeah, the good stuff. Let's continue. Let's go back to the original scene. There we go. Boom. Longzhu now with the gold advantage because of the bottom tower. Trinity Force on Khan. Interesting. He's just going for the heavy carry build, which he has to, right? He's not going to build for team fights. Team fighting is completely out of the question here for him. He just needs to... I feel like he just needs to split push, and split push some more, and then take turrets, and then in the worst case scenario where Fnatic try to dive or create something, or maybe TP from behind, sure, possibility for Khan. Right now Fnatic have a TP advantage. They have a TP advantage because Khan decided to TP back into lane. After he was so low, he TP back to lane, bought the Trinity Force, boom. There's no wave here for Khan, so he can't really just shove down into the turret. Soaz managed to clear it before he bases here, so maybe Soaz can save his TP. It depends on how fast Khan can reach the turret here. Reckless and Jezz now, they can potentially make a play here with Soaz. It's very certain that Khan will get the top tower if Fnatic decide to commit to a play with the Maokai TP into bot side. You can see that Nasus will continue to push here. The main thing we should look out for is that Fnatic should try to take some priority through mid, just push the wave, ignore Galio, and then just walk into the river. Make sure that Syndra has space to move in this area specifically. It's all about moving in this area. And if there's a pink ward here for Fnatic, and they can move freely in this space, and Galio has to be scared when he face checks here, then we have a good scenario for Fnatic and a setup where they can potentially do something into bottom. But I also, while this is happening, Fnatic have priority in the bottom and they're already hitting the bottom tower. the play that Longzhu are committing to is the lane swap. So they're walking into top side to contest Rift Herald, and at the same time it's a good lane swap because they want to be Varus and Janna against the enemy TP. The main thing you do against TP is that you try to put as many people towards him as possible. Like in last game when I suggested that they put Kog'Maw Lulu against the Shen. The reason you do this is because you can't get outnumbered if you play towards the TP, right? And if you play towards the CP, all of a sudden it's a different situation. But the main thing here is that Fnatic didn't continue to push bottom as they could have. They could have potentially just gotten the tower while Soaz is pushing in the wave top. The main thing here is that Fnatic, they are matching. Soaz is going to base and walk into bottom to catch a wave, and this is also fine play, right? There's nothing wrong with this play at all. Longzhu now are matched. Soaz has some time to work with because there's no tower in the bottom corner here for Fnatic, so he has a lot of time to work with before he needs to rush bottom. But seems like Longzhu just sniffed this out and are just walking towards mid lane instead. It's a very hard situation for them because they need to be grouped to get mid priority, and right now as it stands, just because Fnatic have such a better position on the wave and the better position in the river, they can keep hitting the wave the moment it arrives. Nasus now with no TP. Fnatic kind of reversed the situation on its head. Varus ultimate lands, roots up a bunch of people. Khan is now pushing the base in bottom. Very well defended by Longzhu. Like, keep in mind the situation here is that they are 3 against 4. They cleared the wave. Kaz used the ultimate. Galio was also in range to move. So I feel like this is where Fnatic are skipping a step. They're leaving kind of Syndra behind. And yeah, to be honest, they're not really leaving Syndra behind. Syndra could move all the way here to commit to the play. Like if Syndra moved all the way here instead of clearing the pink, then potentially this play would have been better. But Syndra clears the pink here, and in theory, Longzhu is 3v4, but Galio can always support this faster than Syndra. Syndra had priority in mid, but she didn't commit to the play into topside. I think Syndra should have walked all the way, and then Fnatic should have tried to dive. But then again, you know, let's say the situation is as we're presenting it. Syndra walks straight now. Let's say she's walking, she's here now. I'm moving with my mouse pointer. She would be here in Tribush right now. There's no plant. She would be walking right now. How much time would it take her? Like, how much time? Maybe she just wouldn't be in time, you know. Then it would have been a bad situation too. Like, if Longzhu can clear the wave before Syndra is there, then it's really bad for her to go there, right? The wave is coming in right now. It's a cannon wave as well. I don't know, man. Maybe Syndra could have been here in time and this would have been a better situation. Maybe it would have. Nevertheless, the situation turns out to be very good for Longzhu because, you know, they force Fnatic to back off even though they're investing 4 members here. And Nasus is going to get to the bottom tower for free. Holy moly. Is it Zion Spartan? I want to see Longzhu Nasus. If Longzhu win Worlds, man. Oh shit, Khan is just ignoring him. Holy moly. TP is up from Soaz and Khan doesn't have it. Galio is moving towards top side. Maokai would have to TP top to potentially defend this. Prey is doing a lot of damage. Holy moly. Holy. It's also important to note here that Fnatic don't have ultimates, and it's the same for Longzhu. BDD has priority from mid lane. He moved first. It is now reversed. Syndra is starting to base. Nasus has TP now. It's coming up shortly. So what Fnatic need to do, I just feel like they need to play together more. I feel like they need to incorporate Syndra more in the play and just play with the fact that she can in fact push the waves and then fight in 4v4 scenarios. You know, it's also important to note that they could just play this game a bit slower as well, because, you know, Galio is reaching his peak. Tristana doesn't have any items yet. Maybe when they reach the point where Tristana has a couple of items, she can just carry the game and it should be fine. This is a situation where Fnatic actually is committing 100% to the play, but Caps has to flash out and Jess is going to get one shot. Ooh, he's low. He's so low. Khan is coming in with the TP. Can he do much? He's just a dog. Running in with the Storm Raiders. Boom. Alright. So they decide to commit all the way to the dive top side when Khan has TP back up. And when there's no wave. So they didn't dive before when Khan didn't have TP and Syndra had priority and there was a cannon wave and the wave was hitting the tower, but they decide to dive now instead when Khan has TP and Longzhu is all in position to defy it. I feel like this was desperate. This was very, very desperate, and I feel like this was a conversation in game, you know, where we should have done this. We should have dove in them. We shouldn't have let them defend the turrets as 3. We should have just dove in them with Syndra. And then the next scenario was pretty similar, but the main factor that was different was that Nasus had TP. Main factor. So that makes it all different. It makes it all very different, because you're actually putting yourself when you're diving, when it's 5v5. Let's take a look back here, just to make sure that everyone's on the same page here. So the dive is coming in, Khan has teleport. Khan has teleport, the wave is over here. So the dive is, holy moly, what did I paint before? Picasso. Picasso is what I am. Why? So we have this situation. Here's 1, here's 2. Dive is coming in, creep is our number 3. Got 4 and 5 over here. Sejuani is here, man. Sejuani is here, dude. Sejuani is here. Hello. Hello. Fnatic, no. Ah, come on, McAfee. I can't remove McAfee from my PC for some reason. It was there when I got it, and McAfee is just pissing me off, man. Alright. Okay. So I want to take a step back and look at the other scenario that was a bit different. The first initial play here on the top, which was around about now. It's right here, right? So the biggest difference here is Sejuani is in position. Syndra could be moving. Like Syndra could be about here right now. Syndra could be here. And this would have been a good dive. This would have been a good situation. They just need to fucking commit on this shit, you know? They need to just Rakan ult on the Janna, and they just need to burst her down, and they need to just get in there. A play that Syndra could do as well is just try to cancel the Gali ultimate, and that's completely fine too. But I think this is the good dive situation for them. But they're not. They're not. They need to just be diving right here. They need to be diving. They need to not be scared. Make sure that Longzhu have to use their ultimates. I think Rakan ult into W onto Gorilla is the way to do it. If he's good enough, of course he's gonna ult just as a way before he reaches him, and then off of that Broxa can follow. Like, why is Broxa standing here? Like, what is this? What is this? What is this? So this is where the good dive situation was at, you know. This is the good dive situation. But later down the line, we have the bad dive situation. Sejuani is nowhere close to be found. You could say that maybe it's a mistake. He should have been there. I don't know what he was doing. Let's see what he was doing. Let's see what Broxa was doing. Okay, so he's low right now. Jessus is starting to recall. No, Jessus doesn't even recall. Jessus doesn't even recall, man. He just goes in crazily. To be fair, you know, Sejuani would probably be in time if they actually played with the wave, but there's no wave. They're serving the Maokai wave. They created their own wave. It just went into it. Absolutely crazy, man. Holy moly, I am astonished by this play. Longzhu now, how much gold ahead? Looks like 6k. Holy shit. This is so sad. Holy moly. What happened? Replay transition into Maokai getting smashed. Look at his health. His Nasus is OP. Look at that. I'm playing Nasus tomorrow. That's for sure. I'm playing some Nasus and solo queue. look at this. The only indicator we have here is that, okay, after this replay, look, Nasus is touching Maokai right now. Look at his HP. Boom, boom, and another boom into a where's the flash? Into a ziggity zag for Soaz. Where's your flash, brother? Let's look at the Soaz cam, man. Oh. It's a rough game. It's a rough game. It's a rough game, you know. After those failed dives and botched dives, Fnatic like Nasus got more and more ahead, and just such a painful situation to deal with. You know, it's such a painful situation to deal with because Nasus is permanently split pushing, and Fnatic need to create something by diving or forcing on turrets. And Longzhu have a comp where they can defend turrets very well, but Fnatic definitely could have executed better. That's the first inhib. Caps dies. Plain and simple, you know. Holy mo 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Getting beaten in 20 minutes. Bro. 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 Nah. It was so clutch, you know. So clutch, these dives that were botched. This is where Fnatic could have gotten an advantage, but it just didn't happen, and Khan was just taking over the game because he was allowed to do whatever he wanted for such a long time. And holy moly, will we get a Longzhu Nasus this year? Very likely. Not very likely, but there's a big chance. There's a big chance. Holy moly, that is crazy. That is crazy, crazy stuff, man. I am shocked. 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Holy mackerel.